Welcome back. If you've just joined us, you're watching the news at 10 on Channels Television, coming to you live from Lagos. Reminder of our top stories. Senate in heated debate over the deployment of the military in the 2019 general elections as issue divides the lawmakers along party lines. The Federal High Court refuses to stop the collation of results of Rivers State governorship and House of Assembly elections conducted by INEC on March the 9th. Credit Executive Council approves 27.4 billion naira for victims of flood disasters and conflicts across the country. And European Union agrees to extension of Brexit deadline with conditions on the Brexit deal. ChannelsTV.com has more information for you, and on youtube.com/channelsweb you can watch our videos. You can also watch us on your mobile device via your browser or download the Channels TV app for Android and iOS devices from their respective stores. Besides giving you access to news and updates on the go, the Channels TV and Channels 24 app has an eyewitness feature that you can use to share pictures, videos, or news of happenings around you. Just install the app, tap and swipe to reveal the menu, and then follow the instructions. Let's take a look at some of the stories that you sent in to us, and we begin with this picture from Kaba in Kogi State, showing a fallen trailer in the middle of the road. According to our eyewitness reporter, the vehicle has been there for over 5 days now, and he's calling on the agency responsible to remove it. The next image is of a primary school in Okbai local government area of Delta State. Our eyewitness reporter says the condition of the school shows the poor state of education in the country, and is asking the federal government to do something about it. Our final photo is from Rumola Road in Port Harcourt, the River State capital. Our eyewitness reporter says it's an appalling sight and a health hazard to residents and passers-by. He's calling on the ministry concerned to save the city. For all your pictures sent in, thanks a lot, and do send us some more when you can. Elections conducted by INEC to choose governors and state legislators on March the 9th are not exactly done and dusted, since results from 7 out of the participating states could not be announced. INEC had to declare 6 of the polls inconclusive after the exercise was reportedly marred in the affected states owing to violations of electoral laws. In the light of criticism leveled against the electoral umpire, our next report examines the implications of conducting supplementary polls, especially the likely challenges.
We are working extremely hard to ensure that the rescheduled elections take place and are free, fair, and credible.
That was INEC's optimism from the very beginning. Little did they know some logistic issues are lurking around the corner. The umpire set out to conduct governorship elections in 29 states. In the end, about 6 states proved difficult, hanging elections which could not be concluded on the forced ballot. One state, Rivers to be precise, had exercise suspended. Violence in some states. Drama in others. Things really fell apart in several centers, and the center not holding. More trouble for INEC as it has fixed dates for supplementary elections, but politicians have taken the battle to the courtroom. The umpire is caught in the middle of the tussle. It is a tug for power, and the voters are also in the mix. The anxiety is palpable. Hopes are that in the end, when the old drama simmers, it will help improve the democratic and electoral process in Nigeria. Sean Kimbaloye, Channels Television News.
So let's take a look at the task before INEC ahead of Saturday's supplementary elections. And joining me live from Abuja is an analyst at the Center for Democracy and Development, Mr. Dayo Olaide. Thanks a lot for joining us on the news at 10. So we have our eyes on 6 states where the process is to hold on Saturday. And 2 of them have gone to court to restrain INEC at the dying minute. What are your thoughts on the task before INEC in this kind of a situation?
I think there are quite a number of things that INEC will need to grapple with as we count down to Saturday. Chief amongst which is the voter turnout. voter turnout, as we have seen right from the presidential elections to the governorship elections, has been a major concern. We cannot afford a situation where, as a result of the loss of confidence in the electoral process, as a result of concerns about safety, people choose to stay away from the polling units. I think that will likely be one of the biggest challenges that will confront INEC come Saturday. The second thing that I think INEC will also likely be struggling with now, it's issue of security. Now, we've seen throughout the presidential and the governorship elections, a lot of concerns about the role of the military and all the other security apparatus that played significant role during the elections. I think that INEC, and particularly political parties, but also the security apparatus concerned, would need to do more to assure Nigerians that, yes, they can come out and cast their votes under an environment that is safe and that is secure, and that their votes ultimately will count.
Okay, Mr. Abiodun, sorry, if I could just...
The other issue that...
Yeah, I was just actually, yes, security is the thing we need to talk about, but I was actually looking at, the court cases that are coming out, and Saturday is just nearby. Now, the law gives INEC 21 days to wrap this up, but if the judge then restrains INEC in those two states, and then there's a delay that exceeds 21 days, what next?
I think it's quite unfortunate what we are seeing. The law is quite clear in terms of what the court can do and who has a role to play in terms of organizing the elections. Now, the role of INEC is to organize the elections. And in so doing, I think there is a provision in our law that actually stops the court from interfering in the organization of such elections. Now, the number of injunctions that we have seen issued by the courts, I think, is likely to create situations that is unanticipated in any part of our law. And so I think I want to join voice with the popular position now, which is basically encouraging INEC to go ahead and organize and conclude the elections. I would expect that come Saturday, INEC will go to the polls, organize the elections, and any party that is unhappy with the conduct of the elections will have opportunity to go to approach any of the tribunals, which is recognized under our law, to be able to present their case. And I think, what the PDP presidential candidate has done, I think, is exemplary. He has decided to approach the court, and I think that is exactly what we should also be encouraging every other candidate that is participating in the Saturday elections. Let INEC have the free will to go ahead and conclude the elections, and you have every right to also approach the tribunals to make your case.
Okay, but looking at the 6 states, I know you were talking about security earlier. Looking at the 6 states where this needs to happen, some of them were flashpoint states, states to watch, like we said. Are you concerned at all about how it's going to end, seeing as some of those states, what's left is sort of like the decider, let me put it that way, between the two major parties? Are you worried at all about the outcome?
I'm not so worried. I guess for me, my biggest worry is the integrity of INEC in all of this. Nigerians are concerned that we would not like to see a repeat of what happened in Osun State, where basically, by reason of the role of military that security actually played in that elections, we had a situation where a particular party was actually given advantage over the other political parties. My sense will be that come Saturday, if the security agencies will play a neutral role, and INEC will also maintain the improvement that we have seen from the presidential elections, particularly in terms of issues of logistics, if we will have, if it will maintain such level of performance and in fact actually improve in the management of logistics, I think there is every chance that yes, we will go to these elections and come out unhurt. But unless it is able to actually guarantee this and maintain its impartial role, we might again actually have major crises in our hands.
All right, thank you so much, Mr. Dayo Olaide, an analyst there at the Center for Democracy and Development, for sharing your thoughts with us on the news at 10 tonight. Now, he talked about security, and well, besides those security concerns, the People's Democratic Party is questioning the concept of inconclusive elections, claiming that the term was coined by INEC and the APC to steal the PDP's mandate in the affected states. Let's listen in to what they said at that meeting.
Where PDP will be declared the winners of the election, like what happened in Kano, in Sokoto, in Bauchi, in Adamawa, in Benue, they had to stop and use their language called inconclusive, just to prevent the declaration of our candidates.
We should escape the trap of always getting Nigeria to be cited as a bad, when they're looking for an example of a bad precedent. Elections are done all over the world. Elections are conducted in Africa. And at no time have we heard of these inconclusive elections in other jurisdictions. In Sierra Leone, elections were held. In Ghana, elections were held not long ago. And it would be very, very unfortunate if INEC, which is led by a first-class professor of political science, will set this very dangerous and unacceptable precedent.
Well, the political fireworks continue, with the All Progressives Congress criticizing the People's Democratic Party over what it describes as an attempt by the opposition to discredit the presidential electoral process. While that goes on, I'm going to hand over now to my colleague in Abuja, Markwe Ogun Yusuf, to continue. Markwe.
Thank you, Ijoma. Oh, yes, indeed, the political fireworks are continuing. The statement, that message you're passing across came through in a statement released by the Publicity Secretary of the APC, Mr. Larry Issa Onilu. The APC said it's fully aware of the moves by the PDP and its presidential candidate in the February 23 election to, in its words, cheer up their members. The APC is responding to the claim by the PDP and its presidential candidate in their petition filed at the Presidential Election Petitions Tribunal in Abuja that he won the presidential election by 1.06 million votes. The Independent National Electoral Commission had announced President Buhari as winner of the election, having polled 15,191,847 votes to defeat Atiku, who scored 11,262,978 votes. But in their petition against the APC, its presidential candidate and electoral umpire, the PDP and Atiku claimed that from the data in INEC server, the PDP polled a total of 18,356,732 votes to defeat Buhari, who, according to them, scored 16,741,430 votes. Faulting the claim today, the APC insists that the majority of Nigerians reaffirmed their belief in the president through the just concluded election to continue to steer the affairs of the country for another 4 years. The party says the figure being claimed by the PDP and Atiku is phantom, as it called on INEC and the security agencies to ensure that the internal storage system of the electoral umpire is not tampered with. When the news at 10 returns, the NNPC restates Nigeria's capacity to meet 2.3 million barrels per day production volume target for the 2019 budget. And that's for business news. To join us again.